changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
Welcome, everybody, to Marijuana for Dummies, the show that actively resists the miseducation of marijuana. And there's a lot of stuff going on. For one, I don't know if many of you saw it, but last night, 60 Minutes did a special on the Emerald Triangle, which really dealt with the growing pains in California, which really came down to the fact that right now there's a marijuana glut, believe it or not. There's more marijuana. In fact, I was told there's a couple million pounds extra marijuana grown that is being sold. And that's because of the delays in registration, Vic, evaluation, certification. And what's happening is the stores that are selling marijuana on the black market, they have a chance of making 2/3 more money. So this is what's happening. Because of the slowness with the regulations and also because of the tax. I told you guys before, I had an order, I gave you an example, I believe. It was an order of $250 worth of marijuana products. At the end of it all, it was almost $70 in tax.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, so which is ridiculous. So, of course, what's happening is that marijuana regulation is actually fueling the black market because marijuana growers can make more money selling their weed on the black market. In other words, when they sell it on the black market, it's cheaper, but they make more money. So everybody wins. They make more money. You get cheaper weed. They would say, well, you have the risk of it not being regulated. Well, so far as a marijuana user, regulation hasn't helped me at all. All these years of being unregulated, the main people who were poisoning the marijuana was the government any damn way. So all they had to do was not poison it, and there was no need for all the regulation. So that's what's happening right now. So the black market is thriving. I can tell you that a number of the dispensaries that I go to are not charging you any kind of tax or fees. And what they've told me is that the city has not responded to their applications. And so they're staying in business selling weed.
Right.
But now here's the other thing, and I don't know, but it seems to be that the ghetto, for better or worse, is where they're ignoring the weed shops. If you go west to the white neighborhoods, they all have been regulated and certified and therefore are charging you high money for weaker weed. Now, when you go to the ghetto, you have way better weed for less money, okay, but it's not regulated.
Are you trying to infer that there may be a bias?
Yes, Vic, I hate to say this may be an error of judgment or it may simply be bias.
Kind of reminds me of a show we're processing where it seems like it's taking a long time. Well, I won't go any further on that. It's not a bias. It just happens to be different rules.
We'll go take a look. Growing Pains in California, 60 Minutes. You can find stuff online. Take a look at the episode. Really informative when you look at what's going on and how even the legitimate growers, they were talking about some of the fees they had to go through, Vic, and it was ridiculous. And that's why it's set up to almost force people to work black market. So we'll see. Announcements continue to come in from officials on the issue of the vaping illness, and as it Turns out they have so far, and they quote them, no quote-unquote short list of suspects. What that really means is they have no damn idea of what's going on. They have no suspects. They can't say it that way, so what they say is, we have no short list of vaping illness suspects. That sounds way better than saying, we have no idea what the fuck's going on. So you're on your own, people. No, and it turns out a lot of them vaping illnesses are going to be mysterious because they have to do with bad manufacturing. Now, whether or not that's good manufacturers who have a moment of bad manufacturing due to a mistake or error versus those who do it, willfully, versus those who just counterfeit stuff and put it out there and who need to go to jail. So the short answer, again, is that they can't point to any specific thing as of yet. But again, we're keeping our eyes on things. The other recent story that I thought was really good, you guys, had to do with medical pot on campuses. This is very similar to what's been going on. See, what happened was they legalized weed, but they didn't legalize where you could use it. So while it's legal to smoke weed, most campuses have specific rules against its use. So while it may be legal to smoke marijuana, see, I'm going to ask Jada to check and see what is SC's official policy. What you're finding is that the school policy will be that you could be suspended. Jada says you can't smoke it all on campus. Now, what happens when it comes to medical marijuana? Because see what happens, this is why I raised the legal issue for you. Once medical marijuana was recognized, that meant it was a legitimate medical treatment. Once it's a legitimate medical treatment, legally they have no grounds to keep you from having access to it in some kind of way which you can prove. They almost damn near would need to, you would have to prove why you needed it at school, and that's why they wouldn't let you do it, because they would make you prove why you needed it, and you would have a hard time proving it. But theoretically, you could ask to use it anywhere, at any time, and because it's your medicine, they have to stay out of your business. So that's the way it's going to be. So what you're going to see, the colleges don't want to be, see, here's the thing, no one wants to be caught in the middle. See, they're going like, listen, we don't want to, because what's going to happen is Joe Boy, frat man, is going to be doing stuff and blow up the frat house and kill a bunch of people or some stuff. And they don't want to be the deep pocket. But eventually, the colleges know. And they probably, I would bet, they actually welcome the lawsuits so they could lose. They go like, oh yeah, go on and sue us. We'll lose, and then we'll change the rule to what you want, because that's what we want to do anyway. We just want to be able to say we were told to do it by the law. Okay? So, we'll see what happens, Jada. Jada, keep us informed. As she says at USC right now, you're not allowed to have smoke, use marijuana in any form. How about vaping, cigarette use on campus?
You cannot smoke at all.
You can't smoke at all. Jada says you can't smoke at all. You can't, Jada says you can't smoke anything on campus at USC. Okay? All right. Now, another announcement I thought was kind of cool. Snoop Dogg is joining up with some Israeli company to promote a pot growing machine. Because as you know, as you probably don't know, as part of the legalization of marijuana, you are allowed to cultivate and grow. And it varies where you grow, but I believe in California you're allowed to grow like 12 plants. 12 big-ass, juicy plants. More than anyone would ever want to grow. But of course you get to grow that here. So Snoop Dogg is joining up with and he is a weed icon, Snoop. And he's going to be joining. This is a court, by the way, let's give it up to the AP for starting that marijuana news section. You guys, you realize this is AP News, and they have a marijuana section on AP News. Let's give it up once again. Yay, AP. All right, so let's give it up for Snoop and what he's doing. Now, on the way out, I forgot to tell you, I always got to give you those moments of weed porn. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm smoking today. Take a look at these wonderful, delicious buds. And let me tell you about this, because one of the things that I like about today's world is that when you buy weed, you can actually go on Google and Google your weed. Imagine that. Okay, so this is what I'm having today. It's called Knockout. Now, the Knockout strain. Here it is according to All Bud on the internet. Knockout strain is a hybrid 50% sativa and 50% indica. And I'll read to you now. Knockout is a sativa-dominant strain that is often rated by users as a grade AA strain. It has dense and sticky buds that are light green in color. They are covered with light orange-colored hairs and comprise of numerous crystals. It has an excellent potency that often rates as 10 over 10 by medical marijuana users, so its THC level is moderate to high. Knockout has an extremely pungent odor that is unpleasant. I didn't notice that. But it has a sweet undertone as well. I don't know if I noticed these sweet undertones either. Its taste, on the other hand, is quite good, and it is a blend of sweet candy flavors. Most tokers find it so good that they can use it 24/7. It produces a relaxed and euphoric effect on your body, making you feel drowsy, heavy, and calm. Some users also hallucinate while using it. Oh, that sounds pleasant. That's what we need. Weed that makes you hallucinate. Bomb, where's my... Okay, that's bullshit, not true. Anyway, it has excellent medicinal use and is great for curing insomnia, anxiety, and stress. I'll say as an MD, if you smoke some shit and you hallucinate, it ain't weed, okay? Okay, and don't smoke that shit anymore, okay? Knockout is quite safe to use, but it has a few side effects such as dry eyes and dry mouth. Some people also become anxious after, who writes this shit? Everybody gets, okay, thank you for all bud. There we go. If you ever want to go find helpful stuff that's extremely non-useful and worthless, go to those, okay? What's the matter? I can't get, Vic.
What's up, man?
The visual aids.
That's all right, man.
I think the visual aids.
I don't think, you know what?
The visual aids may be stuck, Vic.
I like your DJ console.
I don't know, Vic.
I like to show that, man. It has colors.
Ho!
All right.
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay